What's up, YouTube? It's the boy, the Blind Frank, back at it again with another video. And today we're going to be talking about a kid ends up crying because of what his teacher said. All right, so this kid was name was like Brandon, and I don't really know like the grade that this kid was in, what school the kid was in, but he was he was trying to be a class clown. So, but you know how class clowns be. They say something funny and the class laughs, or it might be something insulting, but the class still laughs. Stuff like that. But he was trying to be one, or he was one. He just wasn't funny because he would just blurt out stuff that wasn't funny to the whole class at all. But it was the only people who really laughed was like two people he told that he was funny and stuff, and that's it. Yeah, he wasn't really that much of a class clown at all. He was just someone who just blurt out something, barely anyone laughed. But yes, now I'm going to get into the reason why this kid cried. All right, so like I said, kid he wanted to be a class clown so bad, just blurting out stuff, and luckily, he had a teacher that didn't really care that much. Well, he cared and it was annoying to everyone, but he like ignored it every single time. Until this one day, he comes into the class where tells all of the students in the class, including Brandon, that he's not in a good mood. Something bad happened that day, and he just wants everyone to not really talk or bother him. Literally the whole class period. Then he goes to Brandon and tells him and asks him to not blurt out anything or don't want to say anything. Because, like I said, he just blurts out random stuff. Just blurts it out, trying to be a class clown so bad. Well, it backfired on him. But, so, tells Brandon nods his head, but then after the teacher leaves, he just smiles mischievously like because he's about to mess around with the teacher. No homo. He's about to mess up the teacher's mood even more, mess up his day even more. So, 10 minutes into the class, he couldn't hold it. He couldn't hold his breath. He just had to say something. He just had to blurt out something. No one really laughed, I think. But what he did, he didn't blur out anything, but he made fart noises. He made the fake fart noises. You know how those go. But he made fart noises, and when no one laughed, and they turned all the students in the class turned and looked at him, and then the teacher asked Brandon to stop making fart noises, and then for some reason, if everyone knows, or some people know that someone is known for making fart noises or just making random noises in the classroom or just saying stuff out loud, what makes you think that the teacher is going to believe you? Even the teacher knows that you do it. What makes you think that the teacher is not going to know that you didn't make fart noises? Because, like I said, he's a wannabe class clown, so he's literally trying literally everything to become a class clown to make people laugh. So, yeah. But obviously, so what he says is that it wasn't me, it was somebody else, and then he was like, "Are you sure?" Because I'm pretty sure it was you. You're the main person who makes loud noises every single time we're in this class. And he was like, "Okay, a couple of them I did, but some other fart noises other people did." And he was just like, okay, can you just not make fart noises anymore or something like that? And then he was like, well, he was like, so you can't just keep your mouth shut for the whole class period or 45 minutes or something like that. And Brandon was like, no, I can't hold my mouth. What the fuck is hold my mouth? I can't say anything for 45 minutes in this class. I can't. He said he can't do it. And then that's when he starts to bring up teacher and then started bring up how he just started to bring up his grades. Basically, he started bringing up his grades and saying how him making all these types of noises and stuff like that, you know, adds on to why his grades are bad and why he's basically dumb. And then so the whole class ends up laughing at what the teacher said, and Brandon, one wannabe class clown, ends up getting mad and doesn't want the class to laugh at him, so he just ends up saying how, hey, hold up, I'll be back. Alright, but yeah, at first I forgot to tell y'all this, but he didn't. Well, at first the teacher did bring that joke in. Yet he had said that. Well, if he said, well, he had said that. Well, everyone and himself, the teacher, knows that Brandon can't keep his mouth shut for literally like for what like 10 minutes, and then that's when everyone started laughing. My bad, but obviously Brandon fires back with saying how it's not my fault that you're on your period and that you're mad and stuff like that. Which was, and then that's when the teacher said, you know, that's not a nice thing to say, Brandon, and stuff like that. This is just when the teacher wasn't even going in on it on Brandon like that. So this was just like light jokes. He wasn't even roasting him that bad. So then they started bringing in how teacher started saying how, well, Brandon started saying that he has rights to say whatever he wants to say. But obviously, that has nothing to do with that really, though. But it kind of does, but it doesn't. Plus, since you have the right to say anything you want, then the teacher has the right to say anything he wants. So, teacher ends up firing back, talking about his grades and how he's literally like has the lowest grades in his class, and that gets the class riled up and laughing even more and stuff like that. And then just Brandon just trying to fire back with some other stuff so he won't sound soft or just kind of be roasted badly by the teacher. So I don't necessarily know what he fired back with. Wait, I think I do, but yeah, he just wasn't holding his composure that much. Like he literally, the teacher completely just roasted him by the fact of his grades being low because he had like the lowest in the class and just yeah, he just completely destroyed him. So so yeah, Brandon ends up trying to fire back even more, saying how the teacher is lonely and that's why he's in a bad mood. But the real reason why teacher was in a bad mood is because on that day, like on his way before he got to work, which is at the school, he had to drop his wife off at the hospital. I think because something was wrong with the baby or something like that, or they had to pick up the baby or something like that. It has something to do with his wife being pregnant or something wrong with the baby or something like that. And Brandon did not apologize at all. He didn't say sorry and then move on and say something else. He just completely disregarded that and said, "Oh, it's not my fault. We're supposed to care about your wife and your child and your problems and stuff like that." And that's when the teacher ends up getting even more mad and stuff like that, to the point where he just said that it's not his fault that his grades are bad and he's a moron and stuff like that. And that's when Brandon ends up trying to shed his tears, try to hold his tears back and stuff like that. You know how the face he'd be making where you're trying to hold your tears back and stuff. And so the kids in the class realized what he was doing and saw that he was about to cry. And he was like, they was basically saying, "Or are you about to cry?" or something like that, and saying they was just joking around with him, saying, are you about to cry?" and stuff like that, and that just ended up making him cry. Basically, he just started shedding his tears, but what he did was, instead of just staying in the class and just crying his ass off, he just ended up leaving. He ended up running out of the class. And then so the teacher was like, told students it's his fault. Well, it's not his fault. He said, "My bad for saying all that and stuff." Or for him disturbing the class, and he just, they ain't really saying anything, though obviously they were just speechless because the kid needed it for interrupting the class in the first place. So Brandon ended up coming back like 10 minutes later. I don't know what he was doing, but he just ended up coming back like 10 minutes later and just kept his head, went in the classroom, sat down in his seat, and just, just put his head down to his knees and didn't want to look at nobody and stuff like that. But that's going to be the end of the video. Make sure I like, comment, subscribe. Um, like I said, gaming video probably going to come like next week or 2 weeks from now. Just, yeah. But I'm going to be out. Peace.